Well, very impressive event. It's my first time I come to St. Petersburg, and it's really impressive to see the leaders around and the representation of different countries, European countries, and also from other countries across the world, and the interest to boost the Russian economy and to take opportunities that are still around in this country.
It's no secret, I would want to be straightforward, that doing business in Russia can be extremely difficult, that's to say the least. Is it difficult for Nestle? What are the main obstacles you've encountered?
Well, we've been here for a long time, for 20 years with direct investment. So far, we have been investing during these 20 years more than $1.2 billion. We have a large presence with more than 11 factories, more than 10,000 people. So, of course, it's very tough. It's a competitive environment, but we get used to work in this country. We are happy to be here, and we want to continue to do business in this country.
Do you believe that the Russian government is doing enough to improve the country's investment climate? Have you noticed any positive signs or trends over the past 20 years? How has it been looking, well, let's say, over the last 2 years?
Well, the country has underwent so many transformations, and you cannot recognize the country as it used to be, as a much more country more turned towards business than it used to be, and the government is clearly trying hard to maintain a certain level of growth, which is definitely much higher than what you can find in most of Western countries. So. For us, Russia still remains a source of growth, and that's, why we continue to invest in this country. When compared to so many other countries in Western Europe, is definitely show much more interesting perspectives.
What is your attitude towards the attitude of Nestle towards the so-called de-offshorization policies, the subject we know extensively discussed both at the G8 summit, and we expect that it will also be making highlights during the St. Petersburg Forum. What do you think about Russia most recently joining into the agreement with the members of the European Union to exchange information about taxpayers and private banking information? What's your take on that?
Well, this is a general trend we see all across the world. There is more and more interest to exchange data about taxpayers. This is coming from globalization on one hand. On the other hand, the need from Western countries to make sure that the taxpayers they comply, and this exchange of data is coming across all the world. This was largely discussed during the last G8, of course. So Russia is participating to it, is contributing to it. So I think it's a trend that will stay for a long time.
And since we're talking about the global economy in general, but also how things are going for this or that company in Russia, I would want to ask you, as the representative of the Nestle company, regarding food prices. Is there a tendency towards an increase in food prices or vice versa? What are the main reasons for that? What are the main current trends?
Now, what we see in the market is more and more a stabilization of prices. In certain categories, even we can see that prices are going down. We say that those days where the price were going up, these days are over. There is a strong competition in the market, and you can see that this competition is also a lot on prices. We are participating to this competition as well, so we make sure that our products are affordable and that we can delight our products, our consumers with our products, and make sure that consumers can have access to our products in an affordable way. So I think it's more, I see a trend of stabilization or even reducing the price in most of the categories.
Mr. Patarnello, what are you particularly expecting? What is Nestle Russia is expecting from this 17th St. Petersburg Economic Forum? What are your goals?
Well, for us, it's an opportunity to connect. We also part of the B20, so we contribute to a different, discussion about investment, infrastructure, and trade. So we give our contribution to this event. It's also an opportunity for us for networking with different important actors in this country, and to also to make sure that Nestle is visible in this country, as it's one of the leading FMCG companies.
Compared to other countries in the world, just give us one figure, just very briefly an idea. Which place would you put Russia if you were asked, would you invest into Russia? What, number one, number two, number three?
It's definitely number one in Europe, in my opinion. Then I would say in the world it's more difficult to make this assessment, but I would say this is the country where Nestle is willing to invest in Europe.
And where would you put Russia? Which place would you put Russia?
Definitely, I say number one in Europe. As I said, this is a country where we are investing to get growth, the growth that is difficult to get in the rest of Europe. We are working hard to get in Russia because the opportunities are still here available.
And compared to the Asian countries, where would you put Russia?
Well, it's difficult to compare. Also, Asia is different countries. You can see still strong opportunities in some of the Asian countries like China or Vietnam or India. But I would say Russia is comparable to some of the fast-growing Asian countries in terms of opportunity going forward.